Right now, somewhere in the world, a human being just lost their job to a machine. Not a factory worker standing next to a conveyor belt, not someone doing a simple, repetitive task. A lawyer, a doctor, a software programmer, a journalist, someone who spent years, sometimes decades, mastering their craft. Gone, replaced, not fired, not laid off, replaced. Now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine you wake up tomorrow morning. Your alarm goes off at 7 a.m. Normal day, normal morning. You make your coffee, you sit down, you open your laptop, and there is an email from your boss, sent at 3 a.m. It says, and I want you to really hear these words, "We regret to inform you that effective immediately, your position has been fully automated. Your final paycheck will be processed by our AI payroll system. We wish you the best." You think it is a joke. You call your colleague, no answer. You open Twitter, it is trending #1 worldwide. Hashtag AI took my job. Millions of people, same message, same morning, same cold corporate email. Teachers, accountants, designers, nurses, engineers, writers, all of them gone overnight. Today, we are going to explore exactly what that world looks like. We are going to look at the history, the science, the economics, and the human cost. And I promise you, what you are about to hear is far more real, far more terrifying, and far more important than anything Hollywood has ever shown you. Let us begin. Here's the thing that most people do not understand. This is not a conversation about the future. This is a conversation about right now, today, this year. Because while you are living your life, going to work, watching Netflix, scrolling your phone, the shift has already begun. In 2024 alone, approximately 55,000 job cuts across major companies were directly linked to AI adoption, and more than 75% of those happened after 2023. That number is not slowing down, it is accelerating every single month. Think about the last time you called a customer service line. Did you speak to a human, or did you speak to a voice that sounded almost human, but wasn't? Think about the last time you walked into a McDonald's. Did a person take your order, or did you tap a screen? Think about the last article you read online. Was it written by a journalist who researched it for hours, or was it generated by an AI in under 4 seconds? These are not hypothetical scenarios. These are things happening right now, all around you, every single day. And it goes much deeper than fast food and customer service. In law firms across America and Europe, AI systems are now reviewing contracts, drafting legal documents, and analyzing case histories, tasks that used to require a qualified lawyer charging $400 an hour. In hospitals, AI diagnostic tools are reading X-rays and MRI scans with accuracy rates that match and in some cases exceed experienced radiologists. In financial institutions, AI trading algorithms are executing millions of transactions per second. Human traders simply cannot compete. In marketing agencies, AI tools are writing ad copy, designing graphics, and even producing entire campaigns in minutes. The World Economic Forum has estimated that more than 7.5 million data entry jobs will be eliminated by 2027 alone. 7.5 million just in one type of job, just in 3 years. And Goldman Sachs, one of the most respected financial institutions in the world, published a report estimating that 300 million jobs across the United States and Europe could be lost or fundamentally changed because of AI. 300 million people. That is not a statistic. That is not a number on a slide. That is your neighbor, your parent, your brother or sister, your best friend. That's you. And here's the part that nobody is saying loudly enough. 66% of companies around the world are already reducing entry-level hiring because of AI. Entry-level, the first rung of the career ladder, the jobs that young people take when they're just starting out, when they're fresh out of university, when they're trying to build something. Being removed before an entire generation even gets to climb. That is not just an economic problem. That's a civilization problem. But let's go deeper. Let's really imagine it. Not gradually, not slowly over 10 years. What if it happened overnight? What if tomorrow it was complete? Let me walk you through the day. It's 6 a.m., Monday morning. You wake up like any other day. The sun is coming through the curtains, birds are outside, your coffee machine starts automatically. Everything feels normal. You shower, you get dressed, you check your phone, and that's when you see it. The notification, the email, the message you never expected. Your company ran an AI integration overnight. The system is fully operational. Your entire department, all 200 people, has been replaced by a single AI platform that costs the company $2,000 a month. Your salary alone was $3,500 a month. You were more expensive than an AI that works 24 hours a day, never complains, never takes sick leave, never asks for a raise. You open the news, every major tech company made the same announcement this morning. Then the banks, then the insurance companies, then the hospitals, then the law firms, then the schools. By 9 a.m., the stock market has opened, and it's not crashing, it's soaring, because on paper, companies just slashed 60% of their operating costs. Profits are going vertical. Shareholders are celebrating. But by 11 a.m., something shifts.
People are not going to work, which means people are not stopping at the coffee shop on the way. The coffee shop loses 80% of its morning customers. The sandwich place nearby has no lunchtime rush. The petrol station by the office park, empty. The whole ecosystem of small businesses that existed to serve working people is starting to feel the ground disappear beneath them. By 2 p.m., the government holds an emergency press conference because they have just run the numbers. If 40% of the working population is unemployed, the tax base collapses. Income tax, gone. National insurance contributions, gone. Who pays for the hospitals now? Who funds the schools? Who maintains the roads? Who pays the police? Who funds the military? The entire machinery of modern government, built on the assumption that people work and pay taxes, is staring into an abyss. By evening, there are queues outside government offices, people trying to apply for benefits. But the benefit system, already stretched, was never designed for this scale. Somewhere in a glass office tower in San Francisco, a group of billionaires are looking at their dashboards, and their numbers are going up. Now, before we go any further, I need to take you somewhere. Not forward into the future, backward into history. Because what is happening today has happened before. Not with computers, not with robots, but with machines. And the story of what happened is one of the most dramatic, violent, and heartbreaking chapters in human history. The year is 1811. The place is Nottingham, England. England at this time is going through something called the Industrial Revolution. For thousands of years, human beings had made things with their hands. Skilled craftsmen, weavers, knitters, textile workers spent years, sometimes their entire lives, mastering their trade. A skilled weaver could produce a piece of fabric that was beautiful, precise, and worth real money. Their skill was their identity, their livelihood, their dignity. And then the machines arrived. New mechanical looms that could produce fabric faster and cheaper than any human hand. A machine could do in 1 hour what a skilled craftsman took a full day to complete. And the factory owners loved it. But the workers? The workers were watching their entire world collapse. Their skills, which they had spent years developing, were suddenly worthless. The wages they had earned, gone. The pride they had felt in their work, destroyed. And these men, these skilled, proud, working men, decided they were not going to accept it quietly. They called themselves the Luddites. And they had a leader, a mythical, almost legendary figure called General Ned Ludd. Nobody knew who he really was. He was like a ghost, a symbol, a general without a face. And under his name, these workers began to fight back. At night, they would gather, they would put on disguises, and they would march to the factories, and they would smash the machines. Not just one or two, entire workshops, night after night. In the first year alone, the Luddites destroyed machinery worth the equivalent of millions of pounds in today's money. The raids became almost nightly events across Nottingham, Yorkshire, and Lancashire. The government panicked. Parliament passed emergency legislation making machine breaking a capital crime, punishable by death. Not prison, death. They sent in the army, 12,000 soldiers, more troops than were fighting Napoleon in Europe at the time, deployed against their own citizens.
And still, the Luddites kept fighting. Until January 2013, when the trials came. 17 men were convicted, 14 were transported to Australia as prisoners, 3 were publicly executed, hanged in front of a crowd. Their names were George Mellor, Thomas Smith, and William Thorpe. They were not criminals, they were fathers, husbands, workers who had done nothing wrong except refuse to be made obsolete without a fight. And after the executions, the movement collapsed. The machines kept running, the factories kept growing, and within a generation, the world had changed beyond recognition. New jobs appeared: train conductors, telegraph operators, factory managers, engineers. Jobs that nobody in 1811 could have imagined. And on the surface, you might say it worked out. Progress happened, the world moved forward. But here is the truth that history books often skip over. For the workers who lived through that transition, the weavers, the knitters, the craftsmen, there was no happy ending. Their skills were worthless, their dignity was gone. Many of them spent the rest of their lives in poverty. The new jobs went to a new generation, a younger generation, a different generation. The people who suffered the transition suffered it completely, with no safety net, no compensation, no acknowledgement. And that's the warning that history is giving us right now. Yes, AI will create new opportunities, new industries, new types of work we cannot yet imagine. But the people living through this transition, the workers whose jobs are disappearing today, they cannot wait a generation for new opportunities. They have mortgages, children, rent to pay, food to buy, right now. So let us talk about something that makes a lot of powerful people uncomfortable. Let us talk about who is actually winning from all of this. Because when a company replaces 200 workers with an AI system, those 200 people lose their income. But someone gains something. The shareholders, the executives, the people who own the technology. AI skills today command a 56% wage premium compared to jobs that do not require AI. 56%. If you know how to build AI, train AI, manage AI, you're getting paid dramatically more than everyone else. If you're competing with AI, if your job is the type of job that AI can do, your wages are falling. We are watching the gap between the rich and the poor widen at a speed that has no historical precedent. The Industrial Revolution created enormous wealth, but it was wealth that was concentrated at the top for decades before it trickled anywhere else. We are watching the same movie, just faster, in high definition. The companies investing most heavily in AI right now, the big technology firms, have seen their valuations grow by trillions of dollars. Trillions. While at the same time, unemployment among people aged 20 to 30 in technology-exposed jobs has risen by almost 3 percentage points since early 2025. The youngest workers, the people who did everything right, studied hard, got their degrees, entered the workforce full of ambition, are the first to be hit. Not the executives, not the shareholders, not the people at the top, the people at the bottom, the ones just starting out, the ones who have the least savings, the least security, the least protection. There's a word for a system where the gains go to the few and the losses fall on the many. And it's not a word that makes for comfortable dinner table conversation, but it's the conversation we need to have.
But I want to talk about something that the economists and the spreadsheets completely miss, something that cannot be measured in GDP or unemployment figures. I want to talk about what work means to a human being. For thousands of years, across every culture, every civilization, every corner of this planet, humans have defined themselves by what they do. Think about it. The first question a stranger asks you is almost always the same. What do you do? Not what do you love? Not what makes you happy? Not who are you as a person? What do you do? Because for most of human history, what you do is who you are. The carpenter, the teacher, the farmer, the doctor. Work is not just income. Work is identity. Work is purpose. Work is the reason you get out of bed in the morning. Studies on long-term unemployment consistently show the same pattern. First comes financial stress, then comes anxiety, then comes depression, then comes something darker, a loss of identity, a feeling of worthlessness, a question that echoes in an empty house at 2 in the afternoon. If I am not doing anything useful, then who am I? When the Luddite workers lost their livelihoods in 1811, they did not just lose money, they lost their place in society, their sense of self, their reason to wake up in the morning with purpose. Now take that feeling and multiply it by 300 million people. An entire global workforce stripped of purpose, stripped of identity, sitting at home being told to be grateful for a universal basic income check while machines do everything. Is that a future worth building? Is that what human progress is supposed to look like? These are not economic questions. These are philosophical questions, moral questions. And right now, nobody in power is answering them. What humans have that AI will never have. But here is where I want to give you something. Not false hope, not empty reassurance, something real. Because for all its extraordinary power, AI has a fundamental limitation that no amount of computing power can solve. AI does not feel anything. When an AI writes a piece of music, it is calculating the statistical probability that certain notes in a certain order will produce an emotional response in a human being. It is not feeling the music, it is computing it. When an AI writes a story, it is predicting, word by word, what sequence of language will be most effective. It is not experiencing the story, it is processing it. There's a difference, a profound, irreducible difference between simulating humanity and being human. When your child is sick at 2 in the morning, running a fever, scared and crying, you do not want an AI to sit with them. When you have lost someone you love, when grief is sitting on your chest like a physical weight, you do not want a chatbot to tell you it understands. When a teacher changes a child's life, not because of the information they delivered, but because of the way they believed in that child, the way they saw something in them that nobody else saw, no algorithm can replicate that. The jobs that will matter most in an AI world are not the jobs that are easiest to automate. They are the jobs that are hardest to automate. The jobs built on genuine human presence, real empathy, moral courage, physical connection, raw, unfiltered creativity born from lived experience. Therapists who have lived through pain and can truly sit with someone in theirs. Teachers who ignite curiosity, not because they have the best data, but because they have genuine passion. Leaders who can look people in the eye during a crisis and make them feel that everything is going to be okay. Artists who bleed their real-life experience onto a canvas or into a song. These things, these deeply, irreducibly human things, have never been more valuable than they are in a world that is becoming automated. Not because machines can't fake them, but because we, as human beings, will always know the difference and will always choose the real thing. So, let us come back to the original question. What if AI took every human job tomorrow? The honest answer is we don't know exactly how it will unfold. But here's what we do know. This is not the first time a technology threatens to make human beings obsolete. In 1811, the machines came for the weavers. The world did not end, but real people suffered. In the 1900s, cars replaced horses and carriages. The world did not end, but real people suffered. In the 1980s, computers replaced secretaries and clerks. The world did not end, but real people suffered. And today, AI is coming for a far broader range of jobs than anything that came before it. The world will not end, but the question, the only question that actually matters, is not whether AI will change everything. It already is. The question is, who gets to decide how that change happens? Who decides whether the benefits of AI flow to everyone or just to the few who own it? Who decides whether the people whose jobs disappear are supported or abandoned? Who decides whether we build a future where technology serves humanity or a future where humanity serves technology? The answer, the only acceptable answer, is us. Not the tech billionaires, not the shareholders, not the algorithms. Us, the people who will live in the world that AI builds.
If this video made you think, if it made you feel something, share it, because this conversation is not happening loudly enough, and it needs to be, right now.